Giraffes. Fully grown giraffes stand 4.3 to 5.7 meters, 14–19 feet, tall, with males taller than females. The average weight is 1,192 kilograms, 2,628 lb, for an adult male and 828 kilograms, 1,825 lb, for an adult female. Despite its long neck and legs, its body is relatively short. The skin is mostly gray, or tan, and can reach a thickness of 20 mm, 0.79 in. The 80 to 100 cm, 31 to 39 in, long tail ends in a long, dark tuft of hair and is used as a defense against insects. The coat has dark blotches or patches, which can be orange, chestnut brown, or nearly black, surrounded by light hair, usually white or cream-colored. Male giraffes become darker as they grow old. The coat pattern has been claimed to serve as camouflage in the light and shade patterns of savanna woodlands. When standing among trees and bushes, they are hard to see at even a few meters distance. However, adult giraffes move about to gain the best view of an approaching predator, relying on their size and ability to defend themselves rather than on camouflage, which may be more important for calves. Each giraffe has a unique coat pattern. Calves inherit some coat pattern traits from their mothers, and variation in some spot traits is correlated with calf survival. The skin under the blotches may regulate the animal's body temperature, being sites for complex blood vessel systems and large sweat glands. Head. Both sexes have prominent horn-like structures called ossicones which can reach 13.5 centimeters, 5.3 in. They are formed from ossified cartilage covered in skin and fused to the skull at the parietal bones. Being vascularized, the ossicones may have a role in thermoregulation, and are used in combat between males. Appearance is a reliable guide to the sex or age of a giraffe. The ossicones of females and young are thin and display tufts of hair on top, whereas those of adult males tend to be bald and knobbed on top. A lump, which is more prominent in males, emerges in the middle of the skull. Males develop calcium deposits that form bumps on their skulls as they age. Multiple sinuses lighten a giraffe's skull. However, as males age, their skulls become heavier and more club-like, helping them become more dominant in combat. The occipital condyles at the bottom of the skull allow the animal to tip its head over 90 degrees and grab food on the branches directly above them with the tongue. Neck. The giraffe has an extremely elongated neck, which can be up to 2.4 meters, 7 feet 10 in length. Along the neck is a mane made of short, erect hairs. The neck typically rests at an angle of 50 to 60 degrees, though juveniles are closer to 70 degrees. The long neck results from a disproportionate lengthening of the cervical vertebra, not from the addition of more vertebrae. Each cervical vertebra is over 28 centimeters, 11 in, long. They comprise 52 to 54% of the length of the giraffe's vertebral column compared with the 27 to 33% typical of similar large ungulates, including the giraffe's closest living relative, the okapi. This elongation largely takes place after birth, perhaps because giraffe mothers would have a difficult time giving birth to young with the same neck proportions as adults. The giraffe's head and neck are held up by large muscles and a nuchal ligament, which are anchored by long thoracic vertebrae spines, giving them a hump. Legs, locomotion and posture. A giraffe's front and back legs are about the same length. The radius and ulna of the front legs are articulated by the carpus which, while structurally equivalent to the human wrist, functions as a knee. It appears that a suspensory ligament allows the lanky legs to support the animal's great weight. The hooves of large male giraffes reach 31 centimeters times 23 centimeters, 12.2 in times 9.1 in. In diameter, the fetlock of the leg is low to the ground, allowing the hoof to better support the animal's weight. Giraffes lack dewclaws and interdigital glands. While the pelvis is relatively short, the ilium has stretched out crests. A giraffe has only two gaits, walking and galloping. Walking is done by moving the legs on one side of the body, then doing the same on the other side. When galloping, the hind legs move around the front legs before the latter move forward, and the tail will curl up. The movements of the head and neck provide balance and control momentum while galloping. The giraffe can reach a sprint speed of up to 60 km per hour, 37 miles per hour, and can sustain 50 km per hour, 31 miles per hour, for several kilometers. Giraffes would probably not be competent swimmers as their long legs would be highly cumbersome in the water, although they might be able to float. When swimming, the thorax would be weighed down by the front legs, making it difficult for the animal to move its neck and legs in harmony or keep its head above the water's surface. A giraffe rests by lying with its body on top of its folded legs. To lie down, the animal kneels on its front legs and then lowers the rest of its body. To get back up, it first gets on its front knees and positions its backside on top of its hind legs. It then pulls up the backside upwards and the front legs stand straight up again. At each stage, the animal swings its head for balance. If the giraffe wants to reach down to drink, it either spreads its front legs or bends its knees. Studies in captivity found the giraffe sleeps intermittently around 4.6 hours per day, mostly at night. It usually sleeps lying down. However, standing sleeps have been recorded, particularly in older individuals. Intermittent short, deep sleep phases while lying are characterized by the giraffe bending its neck backwards and resting its head on the hip or thigh, a position believed to indicate paradoxical sleep. Internal systems. In mammals, the left recurrent laryngeal nerve is longer than the right. In the giraffe, it is over 30 centimeters, 12 in, longer. These nerves are longer in the giraffe than in any other living animal. The left nerve is over 2 meters, 6 feet 7 in, long. Each nerve cell in this path begins in the brainstem and passes down the neck along the vagus nerve, then branches off into the recurrent laryngeal nerve, which passes back up the neck to the larynx. Thus, these nerve cells have a length of nearly 5 meters, 16 feet, in the largest giraffes. Despite its long neck and large skull, the brain of the giraffe is typical for an ungulate. Evaporative heat loss in the nasal passages keep the giraffe's brain cool. The shape of the skeleton gives the giraffe a small lung volume relative to its mass. Its long neck gives it a large amount of dead space in spite of its narrow windpipe. The giraffe also has a high tidal volume, so the balance of dead space and tidal volume is much the same as other mammals. The animal can still provide enough oxygen for its tissues, and it can increase its respiratory rate and oxygen diffusion when running. The giraffe's circulatory system has several adaptations to compensate for its great height. Its 11 kilograms, 25 lb, and 60 centimeters, 2 feet, heart must generate approximately double the blood pressure required for a human to maintain blood flow to the brain. As such, the wall of the heart can be as thick as 7.5 centimeters, 3.0 in. Giraffes have relatively high heart rates for their size, at 150 beats per minute. When the animal lowers its head, the blood rushes down fairly unopposed, and a rete mirabile in the upper neck, with its large cross-sectional area, prevents excess blood flow to the brain. When it raises again, the blood vessels constrict and push blood into the brain so the animal does not faint. The jugular veins contain several, most commonly 7, valves to prevent blood flowing back into the head from the inferior vena cava and right atrium while the head is lowered. Conversely, the blood vessels in the lower legs are under great pressure because of the weight of fluid pressing down on them. To solve this problem, the skin of the lower legs is thick and tight, preventing too much blood from pouring into them. Giraffes have esophageal muscles that are strong enough to allow regurgitation of food from the stomach up the neck and into the mouth for rumination. They have 4-chambered stomachs, which are adapted to their specialized diet. The intestines of an adult giraffe measure more than 70 meters, 230 feet, in length and have a relatively small ratio of small to large intestine. The giraffe has a small, compact liver. In fetuses, there may be a small gallbladder that vanishes before birth.